जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चना गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरे प्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुगं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्कायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्. Just bear with me for a minute. Okay. So, Hare Krishna to everyone. Welcome you all for today's session. Yes, Prabhu, sorry you joined early. Thank you for that. Okay, so today the topic which we will be discussing is how honesty deepens our bhakti and relationships in general. So generally we see that, honesty, the very word, what comes to the mind is someone should be very truthful, not telling any lies. So the dictionary meaning says that um, being truthful, sincere, and free from deceit and fraud. This is a dictionary, Oxford Dictionary meaning of honesty. Whereas the same thing, if you see in Bhakti tradition or in our, the practice of Bhakti. So what does honesty means? Honesty means not just, being truthful in words, at the same time being transparent in our intentions, and also being very genuine in our relationship with Krishna. Krishna and his devotees. So being truthful in words and our intentions should be transparent. We are very transparent in our intentions and genuine in our relationship with Krishna and the devotees. So before we begin, why actually this honesty is important? Because it's a very, very important quality to develop our bhakti and also um, even in our life, in our family life, in our relationships. Because honesty, one of the very important thing which it helps us to develop is trust. Mm. We see that when someone is honest, naturally, um, we develop trust on that person. Could be a leader. If a leader is very, very genuine, very honest, then the people who follow that leader will become, they will develop the trust towards that individual. And in family also, if people are very transparent and very honest, then the relationship is very intact, very sweet, and it can continue for many, many years. So building trust, one of the important thing, the honesty helps us to build trust. And then we see that it helps us to grow also. When someone is honest, admitting okay, I have this problem, I need help. If someone is honest enough, then what happens? That person actually gets help, because we are admitting whatever, and transparent in whatever problems or issues we have or shortcomings we have. Then we have the opportunity to grow. If someone is trying to hide things, not wanting to, actually reveal anything, and just keeps with himself or herself, then what happens is that they are stuck with that quality forever. So it doesn't help in bhakti. And even in relationships, we see that when something is hidden, when something is not actually expressed properly, then what happens? That actually develops problems. So instead of growth, it actually ends. So it is very important that uh, you know there is openness, or we reveal honestly to someone whom we can trust, who is a guide, or who is a friend, who can actually help us to um, clear those obstacles and grow forward. And then we see that uh, we also see it deepens our relationship, the intimacy or bond between two individuals. When there is honesty, the trust, actually, when we can develop faith with the other person, and that actually helps our relationship, whether it is a friendship, whether it is any relationship for that matter. When there is honest dealings, then what happens? The love increases. So similarly, not only in material relationships, but we see with Krishna also, when we are very transparent, when we are very open, then what happens? It helps us to develop our faith, because we can open our heart and reveal everything to Krishna. In that way, there is a heart-to-heart connection built with the spiritual master. We will discuss that in detail. Just to give a brief idea, I mean, the honesty helps us to develop trust. Honesty helps us to grow. Then honesty also builds our relationship, or brings bond, closer bond. So when we see these examples, there are many examples we can see throughout our scriptures, maybe Rama and Mahabharata. Throughout we see a lot of examples are given in Srimad Bhagavatam about this honesty, this quality of honesty. And we see the one of the very famous example, comes to the mind is the personality, Lord Ramachandra. So we see many times, when anyone talks about the quality of honesty, definitely Lord Rama's name is there, because we see the whole life Lord Ram lived with that integrity. And we see that when Dashrath asked him to go to forest, Lord Rama, he kept his word. And then even when Bharata came back, and also Kaikeyi, stepmother, came back, and then she felt bad for what boon she asked for. And then she begged Rama, you come back. But what did Lord Ram say? He said that, I have given this word to my father. I cannot break it. So those days, of course, he's Supreme Lord himself, but yet, and the Lord actually showed by his own example how, if someone is given a word, how one should actually keep up that word. In today's world, we see that very easily words are broken. We say one thing, and then you see that people forget that very easily, and the words are not given that value. Many promises are made, even to the spiritual master. What to speak about common relationship, right? Even to the spiritual masters, people make promises, vows, severe vows, like marriage is a vow, that in front of the fire, in front of everybody, one takes a vow, that I will follow this, I will maintain my wife, or my wife all throughout my life. So people take vows, but how many are able to keep up? Similarly, we see in guru disciple relationships also, people take vows. I will maintain this vow till my end of my life. It is a very great vow, but we see that even a little disturbance, or anything comes, impediments comes easily, one leaves the vow. And also in friendship, in many relationships, many promises are made. But we see that very easily those vows are broken. Um, so this is the age of Kali, the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. The truthfulness is actually, it is dwindling. But those days we see that people who lived in the previous ages and all, they gave so much importance. The rishis, even common people, to some extent, they were also keeping up their words, very honest. And this wonderful example of even Dhruva Maharaj, we see this pastime of Dhruva Maharaj, that how Dhruva Maharaj was very disturbed by his father, by his stepmother's actions, very harsh words of the stepmother. And he could not, handle it. So he went running to his mother, Suniti, and he cried, and Suniti guided that you go to forest and pray to the Lord. He's the only person who can actually give solution for your problem. So please take shelter of God. And then Dhruva asked, where is God? She said that, I heard that God, the rishis and munis, they say God is in the forest. So then Dhruva Maharaj went there, and he did such a tapasya at the age of 5, in a forest where wild animals are there. He was fearless, and he did all this. But what was his intention? Because he was very hurt, so he was actually wanted to take a revenge. The revenge is that because you have a big kingdom, you are very proud, and then you throw the words, I will now pray that I have a better kingdom, bigger kingdom than what you have, what my father had. So that was the revengeful mood. In fact, Dhruva Maharaj went and did the tapasya. But of course, when someone does any austerity for the Lord, any austerity, it purifies actually. So Dhruva Maharaj, when the Lord Vishnu appeared in front of him, what did he say? He said to the Lord, he confessed. That is important. Sometimes we may make mistakes, but we have to be open and admit that what actually was our intention, because that's where growth happens. So here Dhruva Maharaj admits to Krishna, actually Vishnu, that I actually came. I was looking for a broken piece of glass, but I found a rare jewel, my dear Lord. So he expressed, he didn't say that, oh, I came with a very pure spirit. He openly confessed that actually my intention was something else. But now I realized. So I want to, admit that I was looking for a broken piece of glass, but I actually found the rare jewel, my dear Lord. This was the mood of Dhruva Maharaj. And we also know Arjuna, we see that Arjuna, when in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, when Arjuna, he's a very famous warrior, and he was always victorious whenever he goes for any battle. And here in the battlefield, he's seeing the opposite army, where he could see his own brothers, uncles, and cousins, and his own, spiritual teachers, grandfather. He becomes very bewildered. But Arjuna is not like hiding, his feelings, or hiding his weakness. Arjuna is boldly declaring to Krishna, my dear Krishna, I am now confused. My Gandiva is slipping, my lips are drying up, I do not know what to do. I cannot fight. So he's expressing all his weakness. When we see the Bhagavad Gita, in the second chapter beginning also, all this symptoms Arjuna is expressing to Arjuna, as a good friend. This is a relationship. And later, of course, he accepts Krishna, you are my teacher, and then you please instruct me. So that is why, if Arjuna is not confessed, if Arjuna was not honest enough, to reveal his weakness, or reveal his difficulties, then we would not have got Bhagavad Gita. Because he has revealed, he got help from Krishna. And of course, through Bhagavad Gita, now the whole world is getting benefited. So it is very important that, when we go through, when we are going through some, in everyone's life, we are trying to become a devotee of Krishna as a sadhaka. And then in the process of we becoming a devotee, of course, we have to go through a lot of obstacles. And this is a big step of anartha nivriti. The heart is filled with so many unwanted things. How am I going to get rid of all these anarthas? Am I going to do on my own, with my own strength, with my own intelligence? Definitely not possible. Certainly we need help. We need help of the spiritual teachers. We need the help of senior devotees. We need guides. We need other Vaishnavas, to help us to pass through this phase of anartha nivriti. If someone is not revealing to somebody confidentially, that this is what honestly disclosing. But if we kind of, you know, they use a very strong word, the mask ourselves, and we don't show ourselves outside, we are okay. We smile, everything is fine. In the modern day also, the world, we see that if anyone asks, how are you? Yes, I'm fine, and we thank you, smile and go. But everybody has got so much in their heart. So it's a very artificial relationships. And if we develop this kind of attitude with Krishna, with the devotees, with the spiritual teachers, with Vaishnavas, it's going to be very tough. Because then the growth is stunned. Just like we saw, when we are not revealing ourselves, then what happens is that it's not that we have to reveal to the whole world. At least we have to confidentially reveal to someone, about what actually is happening. Then only that help will come. If I'm not going to disclose to anybody anything, how am I going to grow? It's not possible. So that's why it's very important, being honest in revealing our heart, to someone. That is very much insisted by all the great personalities, even the great acharyas. They have done that. And then we see, and it is very important, we share honestly all our feelings and emotions, at least to one person. Even in the neck of instruction, the 6 kind of loving exchanges, we see that confidentially revealing our heart to someone and hearing from them confidentially. So that is considered as one of the ways to develop a bond between the Vaishnavas. So we see that how the great personalities they have done. Even Srila Prabhupada's life, when Srila Prabhupada was doing his pharmaceutical business, that time many people told him, that there are many other ways, like cheaper products, you can try to use, and then in that way the profit will be expanded. Srila Prabhupada said that Prabhupada declined all those offers, whether it was before, he started this International Society for Krishna Consciousness, or later. Prabhupada was always very honest, very straightforward in his dealings with his disciples, with everybody around. Prabhupada very, very honest. If he found anything which is not in line with the Krishna conscious principles, which is not favorable to Krishna conscious philosophy, immediately Prabhupada would correct them in a very, gentle way. He would actually, he will express his, thoughts very honestly. So that's what actually attracted many people, because you see in this world, many people claim themselves as God. And then, many people actually manipulate, exploit. They may have so many opulences, in the sense, some yogic perfections. People use to exploit people. Show all those, wonderful things, and then people immediately feel, oh, this person is really very big, and they very innocently come and take shelter of those person. But similarly, when someone when told Prabhupada, a reporter told Prabhupada that, oh Swamiji, you must be God, because you have done things which is like humanly not possible. Because 108 temples in a span of 10 years, and that too not from 20 years to 30 years, it is 70 to 80 years old. Those, very ripened age, opening 108 temples is humanly impossible. And 80 volumes of books, and circled the globe 12 times, and so many things, and created so many disciples, transforming the hearts of so many personalities. Not easy, definitely not easy. We now realize when we go for book distribution and we are trying to hand out a book to anybody, how many people, first of all, even buy a book? First thing, even when they get the book, we need to see, somehow or other we encourage them to take a book. How many of them even read that book? How many of them even come to the process of Krishna consciousness? And among that, how many actually take up the process and become devotees? It's not, it's really very difficult. Actually, going out in book distribution actually makes us to understand how great Srila Prabhupada is, how wonderful Srila Prabhupada is, what a pure devotee he is. We can understand his glories actually when we go in the streets. Every moment in the street actually helps us to deepen our relationship with Srila Prabhupada. How honest he was in every dealings. Very difficult. We actually have to cover sometime many things, even to distribute a book. We are not able to even honestly say this book is all about this, because nowadays people are like that. But of course, we are not, kind of cheating people, or, kind of giving some false this thing. That's also a way of actually attracting people to. Sometimes, a child may not take a medicine. Then the mother says, no, 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 this is here, it's a sweet I'm giving you. And then, like giving a honey, and inside, the medicine is, mixed and given. So that is for the good of the child. So we're not talking about that. But the point of what I'm trying to say is, for us to even boldly go and say, talk about Krishna consciousness is so difficult. But Prabhupada did it and made all the hippies into happies. So we'll be able to appreciate Srila Prabhupada. So throughout, that's a quality so attractive in Srila Prabhupada. Because in current day world, many people, they are actually being so dishonest. They live two different lives. Once there was one person, one devotee, one very senior devotee shared that he was actually following a very senior person. I mean, he was following one yogi, one Swamiji. And then when he went, to see him, then he realized that he was actually smoking and he was doing all sorts of nonsense. So this is kind of, the cheating happening in this current day world, because the conditioned souls, one of the propensities is cheating. The four defects of a conditioned soul is, we see that, our senses are imperfect, and we get easily illusioned, we commit mistakes, and the cheating propensity. So many people, we see that even in the disguise of a sadhu, actually cheat people. But here we see Srila Prabhupada was very straightforward, walked the talk. That's what attracted everybody. So honesty is really very a powerful thing. And especially when we are very honest in our dealings, especially in our devotion to Krishna, that actually touches Krishna. Rather than actually pretending to be a devotee, we can admit we are trying to be devotees. So I was talking about when the reporter speaking to Prabhupada, you must be God because you have done all these different things in a very short span of time. Prabhupada said, those who claim themselves as God, Jivodia, they are not God, they are devotee. And then Prabhupada said, I am not God, I am a servant of God. Then Prabhupada said, I like to correct myself, I am trying to be servant of God. That was the mood of Srila Prabhupada. Very honest. So this is something very important. And we see in how this honesty actually affects in material relationships and in spiritual relationships. If we take all the material relationships, starting from a family or a marriage life, say there are two people, of course, husband and wife are there, and if they are not honest to each other, then what happens? The relationship can become strained at any point of time. It could be any matters. Sometimes it could be a financial matter, it could be any other relationship matter. And we see that many marriages ends in divorce, current day world. Why? Because there is a lot of hidden agendas, hidden things happening, not being transparent to the partner, doing things without their knowledge. And then once they get caught, then becomes a big problem. And then, see, once trust is broken, they say this example of a glass. When a glass breaks, after you take and then you try to kind of do something to fix it up, still there is an element of, that thing will be there in the heart, because it's very difficult. That's why breaking is very easy. Maintaining is very difficult. So that's why it is very important to be very open. Whatever one feels, emotions, being transparent, especially in a husband and wife relationship. Being transparent is a very important element. If the relationship has to be there for a long time, that is very important. Otherwise, the trust will go up. That's where the question of doubt comes. Then once the trust is broken, then what happens? Every action what the other person does will be seen with the eye of doubt. And then that what happens? It actually disturbs the other person. Why that? You see everything in the eye of doubt. Why can't you be just normal? But the point is that you have broken the trust. So that then it is very difficult. That's what happens, because constantly you see in that eye only. So that's why it's very, very important. Honesty plays a very important role in relationships. Um, People should take out time to sit together and express their hearts. Okay, I think like this. What do you think about this? If that kind of honest communication is not there, then what happens? The relationship can turn direction. So that is very important. And then we see in workplace also, honesty is very important. Just imagine an employee keeps on cheating, spaced out, not doing anything, very dishonest. Nobody would like him. Definitely, the employer is not going to like it. And then it's going to bring a bad name. And then one may even lose the job. Similarly, in the case of a leader, or a manager, someone of, who is in a higher caliber, and then when he sees that, an employee is doing something wrong, or, some of his work is not good, or his dealings are not good, say he's giving a honest feedback. Okay, this is not right. Probably you may have to do this and that. And it may hurt, but it's good that, heard a honest feedback. Then one can apply that and then actually grow forward, in their journey. Even in spiritual relationship, that's important. And then we see that, but otherwise, if say if there is a manager, he sees something is false, but he don't want to say on the face of the person, he's kind of hiding and saying it is like a concealed criticism, only backbiting and all this, these things happens, and at some point of time the person is out of the job. So uh, we have to accept honest feedbacks, though it is not really very palatable, or though it is not very wonderful to hear. But it actually helps us when someone hears a honest feedback, then it actually helps a person to grow. And if you take the parent-child relationship, nowadays that becomes a big problem, because from both the sides, sometimes we see that the parents feel that the children are not following what they are saying. The problem is that the children see that, first of all, the parents are not following what they are saying. So it is not about what we say, what we follow. That's what the children actually follow. So there was once, we went to see one family, and there what happened, one mother was complaining that this child, her son was all the time looking at the screen, seeing the Facebook, seeing this and seeing that. And then what happened? The son was hearing all the time. And then when after some time he told, I have to tell something about my mother. She's watching, this television, this serial. She's watching that. She's watching this. Then the mother was stunned, so the children are also keeping an eye, they are seeing what we do. So many times, this is one of the things. Arudra Mataji, Her Grace Arudra Mataji, she's well known for homeschooling her children. And both her children, they are, Oxford graduates. She did the homeschooling and they did exams and all that. They got graduated from the Oxford University. And also in spiritually also, they are in a very, very higher position. Not just a position, wonderful devotees. So Mataji actually gives a tip that it is not about expecting what the child. We have to be honest in our practice. Whatever we are doing, the practice, what we recommend for our children, we actually have to follow and show. So when the children see the honesty in the parents, even when they make a mistake, they're actually saying, that I'm sorry that this particular thing, I actually messed it up, but I should have done it like this. Then the children also see that, yeah, if I do mistake also, I can be open and then I can say. So that is important, that the parents being honest in their dealings, in their practice, how they deal. Then what happens? The same thing the children picks up, because actions speak louder than words. Otherwise, if they do exactly opposite, they want the child to wake up early, but then the parents don't wake up early. The parent says to the child, you read regularly Bhagavad Gita. They don't read Bhagavad Gita. You chant Hare Krishna mantra, but they don't chant Hare Krishna mantra. How can we expect the child to follow? But also we see in the other case also, children, when they are grown up especially, what happens? They get the association of, the peer pressures, and sometimes they get misguided by others, and they start lying things. They don't tell the truth. They do many things behind the back. And then what happens? That actually disturbs the parents. And then the parents has to say something, and then the children get disturbed. But they have to, the grown-up children have to also think, who actually created the problem first? I'm feeling bad that my parent or my mother, my father behaved with me like this. But before that, think for a moment, what has caused this problem? It is your behavior which has caused the problem. It is your dealings which has caused this problem. So that they have to also think. Okay, small children, they cannot think that's different. But when they grow up, at some point of time, they also have to think that, lying, cheating, uh, that's not really good. But of course, today's children, it is very difficult to even advise, because nobody likes advice. Even we don't like advice. Even the grown-ups don't like advice, because our ego gets hurt. Uh, if any correction we don't like. Whereas appreciation is like honey entering the ears. That is the conditioned nature of a conditioned soul. And a conditioned soul likes to hear appreciation, likes to hear wonderful things about oneself. So this is the current day world. But of course, we need to handle it with properly, and in a very respectful way, and deal it gently. But this is what in a parent-child relationship also, the honesty. In every relationship, honesty plays a very important role, because if a parent actually breaks that, the trust is broken. So the child actually cannot actually respect or appreciate whatever the parent does, because it's there in their head all the time. Similarly, when the child keeps on breaking the promises, breaking the, you know, you know, telling lies, then naturally the parent also loses this thing. Of course, the parent cannot, at one point, or the parent is parent. We need to see that how, okay, help out the children. But I'm saying how it affects a relationship. And if you take in spiritual relationship, a guru and disciple, which is a very pure relationship. In that pure relationship, we are actually taking a vow in front of the fire and Krishna, that I will chant this many number of rounds, and whatever vow, we take in front of the spiritual master, it becomes one's duty to follow all throughout the life. Once we break the trust relationship, break the vow, even the spiritual master may forgive, but Krishna never forgives. Because in Krishna's eyes, when we break the promise of, give a promise to Krishna and we break, even Krishna don't take it seriously. But when we break the promise of his pure devotee, Krishna punishes. That is why they say that taking initiation is a great step. It is not to demotivate. Not that we have to be fearful, oh, I should not take initiation. We have to, but we need to understand also what is that I am going in for. So we have to prepare our mind before that, not just taking initiation. Everyone is taking initiation, I have to take initiation. It is not like that. It is a great vow, a lifelong commitment, actually. So one has to be very honest in following the vow. Nobody is going to look at it. Sometimes one may not have even a mentor. Maybe the mentor was there just to recommend. That's it. Then there is no mentor at all. Then it's purely up to that individual, that to see that how sincerely I am following those vows. So it's very important. And otherwise, Krishna becomes. That's why Guru, when he gives initiation to a disciple, and if the disciple breaks the vow, the spiritual master takes the sin. He actually suffers for the disciple breaking the vow. The disciple will also suffer, and the guru will also suffer, at least some intensity, because of course they're pure devotees, but they still take a fraction of that suffering. That is why sometimes the spiritual master becomes sick. The spiritual master may get bad dreams. They go through so many different sufferings because the disciples are breaking the vows. So it is such an important thing. Similarly, we see that it's very important that a guru is also. That's why before we accept a spiritual master, there is a period of shelter. From the shelter onwards, the guru is actually checking whether I can accept the disciple or not, that the genuine is. And similarly, that disciple is also, to accept the guru initiation, take initiation or not. And also, one has to see that the guru is a bona fide guru. Whatever he's saying, he's following or not. Honesty. Then only one actually accepts the guru. That's one of the things. One is he has to be connected to the disciplic succession. And also, he is someone who is following his guru like that, the parampara. Otherwise, there is no point accepting someone who is, one will be cheated, like cheating gurus. So we have to be very careful whom we are accepting as our spiritual master. So in guru-disciple relationship, honesty plays a highly vital role, because that's a vow one is taking. So that commitment one has to follow throughout his life. And then when it comes to the relationships between devotees, honesty. So in a community, when we have devotees, it is nice to have a honest relationships. That means heart-to-heart relationship. We are very straightforward, sincere. Straightforward doesn't mean we have to be very harsh. We can still be gentle, but honesty is important. Not that we are outside laughing, smiling, but internally we have so many this thing towards each devotee. That is like a very unhealthy, because that kind of a relationship, definitely there is no growth. There is definitely, we are not actually getting anything to, grow forward in our Krishna consciousness. And that is also not very pleasing to Krishna and the Guru Parampara. So honesty is very an important thing among devotees. We have a genuine relationship. What is the difference between a material world relationship and spiritual? In material world also there are many friendships, many this thing there where actually people are like, having dual face. Outside they smile the same, inside they have a different thing. But in a spiritual community, the relationships should be very honest, very genuine. And also we should go and approach the devotees who can help us, and admit, like Arjuna said, oh, I have this problem, how I can actually grow forward, how I can correct. It's not that we are always perfect. We are not perfect beings. If we are perfect, we would be in spiritual world. So it is everyone can understand. We all have faults. It is not about perfection, but it is about how we want to develop our connection with Krishna. And we are sincere enough to go and ask for help. That should be there in a community. Then we see that it is very sweet and it is very nice. Otherwise, being outside one and inside one, that is a dishonest relationship. So that is not going to help us. Then we will not grow in our spiritual life. So it's very important. Sometimes we see that a devotee may outwardly very much appreciate, oh, you are this, you are wonderful, you are very nice, I think you are my only this thing, only that thing, but then you hear from another devotee that this devotee has spoken something about the other devotee. Then why those words we are speaking out? Better to be genuine. If I have a problem, I feel that someone's activity or behavior has caused me some hurt. Better to call the person and then say, you spoke like this, you behaved like this, and I was disturbed. I like to know why you actually spoke like that, or why you behave like that. That is honesty. And then, okay, hear from the other person whatever they want to say. If that is an honest answer, or even whatever answer it is, then we can actually, if that person also honestly says, okay, anyway, sometimes error is human, no problem, let's go forward. But otherwise what happens is that I feel that this person has done something, but I'm just covering it up and I don't want to ask, because how to ask, okay, keep it with me only. And then, but then what happens is that that is growing inside the heart. That is growing like a big tree. And either it breaks the relationship because we don't want to even look at the person. Even if we want to look at the person also, because it is hurting. So keep a distance. Otherwise, what happens is that, in that way, what happens? The relationships are not good. So it's very important to be honest, being very open. Yeah, this is what I thought. Sorry, I didn't know you are thinking like that. Okay, this is what I felt and I did it. Finished. And once we confess and then agree, okay, sorry, I've done it, we should not be going back and doing the same mistake. Then what trust one can develop? If we confess and say, yes, I'm sorry, what I've did is wrong, then you go back and you again do the same thing, then how the trust can develop? So then no problem, again we ask, okay, maybe I failed again doing the thing. Better to have honest dealings and open communication. So in that way things are cleared out. Otherwise, if you are not clearing out, it's just going to grow and grow and grow as a weed. And also this kind of mentality, and not only that, and it has to be kept. Certain things, see, if there is a good thing happening in a community, we can broadcast to the whole world. Wow, this devotee has done something wonderful, and everyone should know. But if someone has done something wrong, we don't have to broadcast Or if we think someone has done something to us and we feel that it is an injustice to us, we don't have to broadcast to the whole world. We can go to the devotee and then say, see, I am hurt. And why it happened. Simple dealings, finished. But why, without even knowing what is the truth, just because I got hurt, just because I didn't like your behavior, and I'm going and backbiting and going and telling everyone, you know what? This is what. And it goes around, goes around, goes around like a gossip. And then the whole group is talking about it without even knowing what is the truth. Because just I felt bad, now I want everyone to feel bad about that person. That's absolutely not a right way of doing it. If you have a problem, we have so many people. Okay, you one person I can't approach. I can always approach another person. Okay, can I have a meeting with this person so I can converse and clarify. We need to be bold enough to. If a person is honest, they will be very bold. I will say this story. This is a story, very nice story told by Gauranga Prabhu, His Grace Gauranga Prabhu. Once there was a king, and in the king didn't have any children. So the king thought, I need to have, after I leave this world, who will be the next king? So I need to find a way that someone who is qualified should sit on the throne. So he approached his prime minister, the one of the ministers. And the minister was a very intelligent person. And then he asked the minister, now what should I do? I want to find a suitable candidate growing up to be a future leader. Not that immediately. I want to develop someone who is going to be a future leader. But then you tell me, what qualification should I look, in that person? So the minister said, out of all the qualification, the most important thing for a leader is honesty. So he said that let us call all the children of age 8 to 12 in our kingdom, and then we will choose, based on this, we will do a test, honesty test, and we will choose a child and we will train the child, to become like a adopted prince and then go as, forward as a king. So the king agreed for that proposal. So then what they did was they called all the children of age that 8 to 12 in the kingdom, and many parents were very excited. Oh, maybe our child is going to be the future prince. So everyone came. And very interesting thing was that, and each child was given a pot, a pot for planting the plant. So a pot was given, then a water jug was given, and some seeds were given to all the children. So the announcement was that you have to take this pot, the seeds, and the water jug. After 6 months, you all will bring your pot, and then we will assess, and then we will decide. But one of the criteria told was you should not take help from your parents, or you should not take help from anybody for that matter. You should work on, you should work independently in this project. Whatever you have understood, you do in that way. But don't take help from anybody. So this was the instruction given to all the children. So everyone was so excited. All the children were excited. And then they took the pot, they took the water jug, they took the seeds, whatever was given. So all the children, they took it. And then what happened was, after 6 months, everyone came. So some pots were looking so wonderful, so much, so beautiful flowers were there. And in some pots, it was nicely grown, bushy, nice plants. And but only one pot was like bare pot. Nothing has grown on that pot. So the king came personally. In fact, the king personally fed all the children. He served the breakfast for all the children. And then after that, he heard the stories of all the children, what did they do during this time. He was hearing all their stories. And then he heard this child whose spot was like not even one little sprout. He asked what happened. So the child said that, I took the spot, and as you told, I put the seeds and everything. But then, I even put the cow urine, I put this, he explained all the process. But if it's not growing at all, then, I thought, okay, maybe I should pour more water. I put it in the sunlight. The child explained everything. And then the child also, then the the king asked, did you not ask your parents, for help, how to grow? No, no, I heard the instruction. My father was very happy to help me. But I told my father that no, no, I cannot take help, because one of the instructions given was I should not take help from anyone, especially from my parents. So I remember that. So I said to my father, I cannot take help. So like that, this child was telling all these different things. And then finally the king came, and then all the children were waiting, uh, which pot is going to, which child is going to win. They finally announced a child with the empty pot, I mean, with no plants. Then all of them were talking chick chick chick, like that. Oh, this nothing has grown. How come this boy was selected? So all the children were kind of like talking among themselves. Then finally the king said, you know, we definitely know that these seeds are not going to sprout. You know why? All the seeds were roasted already. So it's not going to germinate. But you people have, all the other children have, maybe they saw the plant was not coming, they put some other plant, and then they told, oh no, no, this is a plant you gave, and they took help from the parents, so many. But this child was very honest that I tried, I didn't take any help, but very boldly, the child admitted, the fault. So the child passed the honesty test, and the king was very happy to train this child as a future king. So this is the story actually reveals honesty is one of the important quality of a leader, not just a leader, for anyone for that matter, to be very successful in any relationships, as we said, in work, in family, relationship with Guru, with Krishna also. So that is why among Vaishnavas, devotees, this honesty is something very important. We need to be bold enough to admit that I'm sorry, this is what has happened. But if that is not happening, then we cannot expect to grow forward. And it is important when we are not honest enough with our relationship with the devotees, when we are not honest in our relationship with the Guru, when we are not honest in our relationship with anyone for that matter, how can we be honest with Krishna? Not possible. We cannot develop a honest relationship with Krishna, because Krishna sees also as Paramatma sitting in the heart. We are always dishonest. And we see that our acharyas, they are of course pure devotees, but the songs of the pure devotees, we see that they are constantly saying that, my heart is filled with this lust, with anger, with this. My dear Lord, when will I be able to develop that genuine honesty, the genuine relationship with you? Um, because this world is full of many fake relationships. And our goal of life is to develop pure relationship with Krishna. Then our relationship with everyone for that matter also has to become pure. At least the goal should be towards having a genuine relationship or honest relationships. So this is something very important. Then we can develop honest relationship with Krishna. At least we should admit to Krishna. That is one of the tips given. How we can develop this quality of honesty is that we genuinely every single day we make a honest prayer to Krishna, every day in front of the Lord, could be whether morning or evening. How was my day yesterday? If someone can't write like a journal or something, at least in front of Krishna, Krishna, I'm so sorry. This is what I did yesterday. I got upset, I got angry, and I behaved like this. At least with Krishna, we have to be genuine. In front of the Lord, in the altar, at least every day. This is my problem I'm facing. I'm even feeling very difficult to actually even approach a devotee to express, my shortcomings, or to Guru. The spiritual master is always telling also. You see, any Prabhupada's disciples, you see, what they say to the disciples is that if you have a problem, you have anything, please write to us, so that, we can give you that help. But even writing to them, we feel, how can I actually write? You know, because we don't want to reveal ourselves to even to the Guru, or to any devotee for that matter, even to Krishna. So it is important. So how do we actually cultivate this quality of honesty? One is that, of course, we genuinely try to, at least every day in our prayer to Krishna, we want to confess, Krishna, I did this, I did that. We want to be very open to Krishna in revealing what was our intention, what was our behavior. Honestly, we are admitting to Krishna our faults and seeking his help, begging for his mercy, so that I can develop a genuine relationship with you, with the devotees, and with everyone around. So please, Krishna, help me. So that is a prayer, because Krishna also sees the condition, soul is struggling, then Krishna will help us. And second thing is that, in our chanting in the morning, we want to, that is also, chanting is actually a private conversation with Krishna. We are having a private conversation with Krishna, having a closer, we are trying to connect with Krishna, Radha and Krishna. So we want to be very genuine in that connection. Krishna, please, that is why Prabhupada said it's like the genuine cry of a child to the mother. The child is helplessly calling, I have no one else, please. And that utter helplessness, the child is calling to the parent, to the mother, and the mother runs and coming. So similarly, the chanting is that genuine call, because the child also calls sometimes, it's a fake call, the fake crying, like, the child wants some attention, so simply, like, cries, very, and even the mother can find out whether it's a fake cry or it's a genuine cry. Similarly, Krishna also knows whether we are calling out, genuinely, or it is a fake call. So our chanting should also become a genuine call for Krishna. Please, I have all this Ananta sitting there and disturbing me constantly, constantly. My dear Lord, who else can help me? Please, please bestow your mercy. I want to develop the genuine, loving relationship with you. So that kind of a genuine call. Then what happens when that call becomes genuine? The chanting becomes more. That's what, more attentive naturally. When the intention becomes genuine, when the intention becomes, honest, it's a honest, genuine, intense intention, then what happens? Chanting becomes attentive naturally. Because when there is a goal, when there is no this thing, then the chanting is also simply, it is just going on. But when we actually align ourselves, and then we actually, Krishna, this is my, when we understand our honest position, oh, we are actually struggling in this material world with all these anarthas. Externally, the whole world may, say whatever, but we know what is in our heart. And then we are actually praying to Krishna, please, Krishna, kindly help me. And with the genuine call, we are chanting, please always keep me in your service. I don't deserve it. I'm not qualified. I don't possess any of the good qualities, to be in devotional service. But I'm very grateful. Please, please help me. So that kind of a genuine this thing, we can become more attentive. That's why they say 3 P's: pronunciation, posture. Most important thing is prayerful mood. Prayerful mood only when we are honestly revealing to Krishna. Uh, if I think I am good, great, if whatever I do is correct, there is nothing wrong in me. How do I actually genuinely call for Krishna? How I can even genuinely cry for Krishna? Not possible. Only when I know that I am full of disqualification and you are still accepting me, then actually that the genuine, a loving mood will come, a prayerful mood will come. So that's why it's very important. So one is offering prayers to Krishna, asking for help and confessing whatever, things we have. And then also chanting with that genuine mood of prayer. Uh, and then also start slowly revealing to at least to someone who is guiding us, someone who is mentoring us, someone who is looking after us. To that person we genuinely kind of share, and being very honest in opening our concerns, problems. So in that way actually we can become the same, and also reflecting every day, in my dealings with everyone, with the family, with anybody for that matter, is it workplace, how genuine I am, how honest I was. Uh, uh, is there any place I was very fake? I gave a fake smile or a fake word, whatever I was doing, reflecting. Okay, how do I actually improve it? How do I actually become more genuine in my dealings with everyone? For that matter, because everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. So I have to become genuine. I have to develop the quality of being genuine, in my dealings with everybody. So this kind of reflection. So prayer, chanting with that mood of seeking help, and mood of genuine, as a genuine call to Krishna as our ultimate shelter. And then trying to come out of our comfort zone and making an effort to be genuine, to be honest in our dealings, and then reflecting and then working on it. Okay, yeah, yesterday I did it like that. Okay, today I have to be much more conscious, conscious in our the way we actually deal with everybody. So in that way, what happens is that Krishna sees our sincere endeavor, sincere prayer, then certainly we will become more, genuine in our dealings. And this is something which will really attract Krishna's heart. Um, because we are living the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. So unless we become genuine, it's not going to be with how we can, with a fake heart, with fake feelings, fake emotions, can attract Krishna. Not possible, you know. So Krishna is not actually seeing what is outside, he's seeing what is inside. Duryodhana faked. Just like Duryodhana was very loving words. He called Krishna, oh Krishna, please come, I want you to, I like to invite you for a royal dinner. Mm. Krishna straight away rejected, because Krishna know Duryodhana's intention. It's not genuine, it's not honest. Yeah? It is a fake invitation, because he knows what was his intention. So we cannot actually, maybe the whole world may get, sometimes, we may be very dishonest inside, and outside we may be looking great. But the others may actually appreciate us. But of course, Krishna being in the heart, certainly is not pleased. So this is a very important quality. That's why in the 13.8 in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says about this 20 qualities: amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa, shantir, arjavam. Arjavam. It's very important. This quality of truthfulness, the quality of honesty, being honest in our dealings, is something which is very, very dear to the Lord. So, yeah, just one quote of Prabhupada, somewhere read it. I'll try to share that one. Srila Prabhupada said that many years of Srila Prabhupada, he said that spiritual life begins when we stop deceiving ourselves. Spiritual life begins when we stop deceiving ourselves, because one may think that I am actually deceiving Krishna or deceiving anybody for that matter. Actually, we are deceiving ourselves. That's the truth. Because when we don't identify what's a problem with us, we are actually deceiving ourselves. So when we are very truthful to understand that, oh, I have this, I'm actually a sadhaka and I have all these problems, shortcomings. So I have to seek help and then I have to grow. Then we are actually growing. But otherwise, what happens? We are deceiving ourselves thinking, I'm actually a devotee, already a devotee. I don't hurt anybody. I'm not, my dealings with everyone is perfect and good. Only others are not good. Generally we put the fault on others, because we are actually deceiving ourselves by not overlooking our own faults. So that is why the spiritual life begins. Srila Prabhupada mentions it begins only when we stop deceiving ourselves. That means we actually look inside. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also said, don't find fault in others, find fault in you. That means what am I lacking, and then how I can work on myself. Then actually the spiritual life blossoms. We begin to grow. So this is something we can try to work on, because as a sadhaka level, we have to bring out all these qualities. We may wonder sometimes, people say when we become pure devotees, all the devotional qualities automatically develop. Yes, that is true. When we become pure devotees, all the qualities naturally manifest. But at the same time, it is mentioned in the Nectar of Instruction. Srila Rupa Goswami mentions that we need to also develop or cultivate these qualities, because these qualities complements our spiritual life. When we consciously cultivate, parallelly we cultivate, and we also because these are all very conducive for pure devotional service, just like a mode of goodness, because mode of goodness helps us to become, helps us to step up to pure goodness. Similarly, this qualities helps us to actually behave in a sattvic mode, the mode of goodness. So from there it is helps us to develop, become pure goodness. But dishonesty, being duplicit, pretenders, these are all qualities of ignorance and passion. In fact, ignorance. So with that mode, it is very difficult to develop pure goodness or develop pure devotion service. So first we have to step up ourselves to pure goodness, goodness, and then pure goodness. So these qualities, all these wonderful qualities of the Vaishnavas, it's not that we have to wait for that to manifest, but we have to cultivate it parallelly, so that it actually helps us to develop pure devotional service. And of course, it will fully manifest when we become pure devotees. But as a sadhaka, it is our duty to also parallelly cultivate these devotional qualities. So I'll stop here, and any comments, questions, or anything you like to share, we'll take a couple of questions if you have. Hare Krishna. Or you have any realizations or anything you think you can add on? Everyone is quiet.
Listening to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Wonderful
Krishna.
answer.
Thank you so much. Honest chanting really helps. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, chanting really helps. Yes. Anything else? But actually, this quality helps us to develop a better relationship with everybody. So, yeah. Anything? Looks like everyone is it a very heavy subject that you're not talking, or is it something you're contemplating?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Pranam Mataji. Basically, Mataji, not hard topic, very easy topic, but when I am applying in my life, that in that time it is very hard. Basically, really true that no growth at all in our relationship when our inside mind is something and the
Mm,
outside face is something else.
mm,
And we face it each and every single time. This
mm.
is the thing. So we should stop right here, and this is should be our mood. And
Excellent.
one more thing I like most, uh, we should have the strength to take others comment and
Mm.
have to open the things to clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that actually helps a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful thing you said. Because many times we speculate why this person has done this, like the mind just builds on so many things, you know. But actually, that could be a simple thing. But when we come and sit together and talk, many things gets ironed out. Even if there is something there, we can still ask a sorry and move on. Rather, actually, just throwing words or just commenting or just kind of this thing we don't even know. So that's like unnecessary this thing with any relationship. Honest communication is important.
Exactly. And one more thing, Mataji, sometimes we thought, okay,
Mm,
we are submitting ourselves very humble. That's why we can't be open. But no, as we are living in a community, so we have to think as like as family. So in the family, we have to face so many things. Like it may be wrong, may be right. But
mm,
what we do to make it clear, we sitting down, we go to our guardian. Okay, look, he does that. He she does that like this.
yeah.
Then the guardian gives us any solution to do that. So in the
Mm,
same way, we have to do that. Otherwise, basically, this shy is false, and I think, and this is the humbleness also be false, and
mm,
it may be one one time like a ego.
exactly.
So and backbiting as well. So this is
Exactly.
the basically gate of Maya. So we shouldn't stop it. We should stop it, and we shouldn't go to enter into the Maya. So
Exactly. Wonderful, Mataji. Point. This is one after you said this, I remembered one story, one example. We read that there was a Brahmana. You would have probably heard this. A Brahmana and a prostitute. They were actually living opposite, to each other. So the Brahmana's cottage was there. Opposite side, the prostitute's house was there. So this the Brahmana is actually a priestly person, right? So externally he was like a Brahmana, going to temple, doing this and everything. And but his mind was all the time on that prostitute, in the sense, oh, how many people are going there, coming there, what kind of this lady she is, this, like that. But the prostitute, she was actually thinking, oh, how wonderful is this Brahmana, that he's so pious, he's what a hellish life I am leading, what a sinful life I am leading, what a condemned life I am leading, So she was very, honestly confessing, to herself and to the Lord every single day, what a, kind of a person I am leading life like this. So what happened after their death? What happened? The Brahmana was given a nice farewell, and he was, he was given a proper ritual and everything at the end of his life. Whereas the prostitute, because she led a very inauspicious life, so people just threw her body somewhere the same. But then what happened when the soul went up? The but the the soul of the prostitute went to the heavenly planets, and the Brahmana went to hellish planets. The Brahmana was like, why, I am there here. And the Yamana said, you were always, because you had two face. Externally, you were looking like a nice sadhu, like a Brahmana. But internally, you were only contemplating on that lady and what she was doing and everything. So for that, you are punished and you are going to hell. This lady externally, she did that. That doesn't give an excuse that one should be externally doing something bad. No, it's not an excuse. It is to just to tell that how intention is important. So there, that prostitute, because she was always remembering and she was confessing that she was forced to enter into such a profession, and she was condemning herself for doing all that nonsense she was doing, and but she was always thinking how glorious is a life you are leading. So she was always focusing on about your the thing. So she was very so her soul went to the heavenly planets, but this Brahmana, being deceitful, pretender, outside one, inside one. So that's why the book, a very famous book, Vaishnava Ke, this book is actually talking about, how a sadhaka, a practitioner, should constantly keep a vigil. Oh, how am I behaving outside and what am I speaking inside, or what am I thinking? Mind, body, and words. Is it in the same line or not? I'm thinking something, speaking something, and then acting something. So when all three are in line, then actually that is very pleasing to the Lord. I'm thinking the same. That is our goal. What am I thinking? I'm thinking of Krishna. I'm speaking about Krishna, and I'm behaving as a devotee of Krishna. But when that is what we all are actually aiming for and praying for. But we have to keep an eye also to constantly refine ourselves. An effort should be there. We may fail because we are conditioned souls. We may fail. We may do mistake. We may be dishonest. We may be this thing. But we have to at least accept I have this problem. And then I'm making an effort to work on it, and I'm praying to Krishna. If that we do, that is a success. That's a point. Now that every moment we are actually will be there. That's our goal. So that's what we all are praying for. And thank you for bringing it out, Mataji. Very nice. Especially in a community of devotees, we want to be very genuine. We want to make an effort to be genuine, isn't it? Appreciate that. Yes.
Sometimes
Anything?
we are afraid of hurting feelings. So we're trying to be honest, but we're trying to like water down what we're saying, so not to hurt somebody's feelings.
Yes, it's a good point. That is a very good point. We should not, so it depends on how because what happens is that we want to say it out, but then what happens? We have so much anger or so much emotion. So then what happens? We pour it out with that emotions, with that thing. Then naturally the other person gets, this thing. But we can always put it as a question. We don't have to even question them. We can say that, sorry, I like to talk to you. The very first itself, because rather than making a statement, we can always say that, I'm sorry, I could be wrong. I actually thinking like that because I do not know from your side what actually you were thinking and how you were acting. But from my point, from my side, I am actually thinking, you actually spoke like this and did like this, and then it actually hurt me. So I could be wrong, but I like to clarify. That's why I've come. Please, don't take it personal. And I'm extremely sorry if it's going to be hurtful, but I like to express. So it is how it is not just presentation, genuinely what we are thinking. See, many times what happens is that thinking of hurting others comes second. We get hurt. That's the truth. We first get hurt. When we deeply, genuinely analyze, we get hurt, or we get our policy against, and we get into emotions, and then we see that, okay, no, I want to say, but what happens if they get. But okay, even if it is genuine, then it is how we actually present it. That's why you see Srila Prabhupada, even he called, sometimes, people rascals and the same. But his way of calling was with a genuine compassion. See, some people, even they shout, they do anything because they are done with that compassionate mood. Still, the people can digest it and go on. But sometimes even the words are given in palatable way, but when we have the anger and when we have the this thing, and when we actually speak it out, the other person can catch it and they get disturbed, or sometimes misunderstood also. So we can always go and tell the truth in a very polite way rather than saying, see, you did it like that. Rather, there is a statement. How can we actually make a statement when we don't even know in what context or on what this thing the other person has behaved or acted. Generally we say like that, but that hurts anybody. But rather, we in a very friendly mood, we are calling, okay, see, I want to come and talk to you, please don't take me hard. I want to say something. Maybe it is hurtful. If that is, I apologize. But I like to share. How does it sound? How does it sound, Mataji?
Yeah, it's good.
It is better, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like Guru Maharaj always says, if you put it like a question,
Question, yes. Yes.
then
Rather than a
and you take
statement,
it
we are
rather
actually.
than a question. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Rather than, yes.
Actually,
It
I
is
had
good.
experience in my home, and I had offered some cherries to the lordships, and then I thought, oh, maybe my daughter will like some, So I went upstairs, and she had locked her door, and I said, that's unusual. She never locks her door. Then I'm knocking on the door. She didn't answer, and then I went to all wrong feelings about her, like she's like this. Then she said to me afterwards, she was doing some work on the computer, and it was like a presentation, and she didn't want disturbance. That's why she locked the door. So that kind of, and I said, look how funny it is, our mind works, because
Exactly.
we can come to the all wrong conclusions.
Yes.
Because of our pre experience, like we've had some similar experience before. So we say 1 + 1 = 2. But in this case, it wasn't 1 + 2. It might be something else.
Exactly.
So like it's like a good learning point, because not to come to certain conclusions without asking questions, and then things get ironed out. Some, like, I think, yes, okay, with devotees it happens, but even with our own family members,
Exactly.
it's like for me, it's purification. Like, don't jump to a conclusion, but actually sit down and talk, and things get ironed out. And it requires a lot of patience and like, be open communication and everything, and then things will get resolved. And actually, you become closer as a family members. But if you jump to conclusions, just because, like we keep saying to everybody, we have 4 principal defects, we make mistakes, we this, all this. But when it actually comes to the application, then we're just jumping to the conclusion. We're saying, no, but I'm imperfect, I've got these imperfections, so I should jump to the conclusions.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. So, yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, it definitely helps. Definitely helps in all our relationships, in developing our bhakti. Being very honest. We want to have that honest relationship with Guru, Krishna, Vaishnavas, and to everybody. We don't want to be like artificial. Being something outside, being something inside. I mean, that is very artificial. That is not even gives us happiness. We won't be able to feel that happiness also, right? We can't be happy. Having the double face is difficult. So anyway, we are sadhakas, so naturally we may do mistakes, but we want to be conscious and cautious, and we want to constantly remind ourselves, and then because we want to move in the direction of pure devotional service. So by discussing, hearing, reflecting, and sharing, and again and again, by the mercy of the Lord and praying, we can develop this quality gradually. Yeah, so thank you so much for all your inputs and comments and realization, reflection. And we will catch up next week with something. which can help us in our devotional and also in our material life. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji.
I'll try to see if Jagannath is awake. I will go and open. Yes. Thank you. You can hear me? Jai Jagannath, Jai Baldev, Jai Subhadra Maharani, Sudarshan ki Jai, Shri Shri Nitai ki, Anta Tatva ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the darshan, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.